Going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. It has been a damn long day for me. Hot as hell. Got to go to this cool little animal sanctuary. Got to see bears and tigers and Bengals and eagles. It was pretty badass, I'll be real with you. My kid definitely had a good time. The family had a great time. So hope you all had yourselves a great weekend. I appreciate you taking the time. We're going to end the week right talking some birds. Yesterday, we started off the positional breakdown, training camp edition, talking about the quarterbacks. Well, tonight we are going to get into those running backs. And we're going to go through each position, talking about who is all on the roster right now, who's on the bubble, and then who I feel will be on the depth chart, how many I feel the Eagles are probably going to keep. And obviously, things will get a lot clearer as time goes by, but we're going to get into that. So I appreciate you guys taking the time. Appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, everything you're doing to support me. I appreciate the hell out of all of you. But without further ado, let's get into this. If you guys have any questions, any comments, whatever the hell it is, let me have it, baby. So thank you. And hey, we got somebody on time. My man Randall in the building. Nice to see you. Not at the end here. Let's go. Ready to talk some birds here, my man. We're getting into the running backs, but if you guys want to talk about whatever it is, please feel free to do so. But running backs on the plate today, we're going to get into who do the Philadelphia Eagles have, and just a few highlights from last year, just to get things started. But let's go birds, baby. Well, there you see right there, a nice little three-headed monster. Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen were using, and because of some injuries to Miles Sanders, some other guys got a little more playing time. And Kenneth Gainwell, right off the bat, you saw one of those highlights from the Falcons game. We were getting him in there, and I love to see it. So he's a big part of this future. Very excited about this stable of backs, but obviously Jordan Howard not pictured. And we have talked about maybe he is brought back if the Eagles don't feel comfortable about what's going on. But let's get into it, baby. So what is going on? Mrs. Bird Gang in the building. You love to see it. Hope you and Mr. Bird Gang are having yourselves a great weekend. Thank you for taking the time. Nina also in the building. We have an all-star studded lineup here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So Mrs. Bird Gang, Randall, Nina, I thank you all for tuning in, whether you're watching this live or later. If you're taking the time, I truly appreciate the hell out of all of you guys. Hope you're doing well. And my man Drew in the building. Just to top it off, that's the cherry on top, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Ready to rock. We're talking about running backs here. And you saw just a few clips from, the guys. And this running back room, I feel really comfortable when they are healthy. And, people can feel a certain way about Miles Sanders. I know he needs to stay healthy. I know he didn't have any touchdowns last year, but I know that Miles Sanders is a very talented running back. He's still very young going into his fifth season. And I think that he's going to lead the charge again, but you're going to have that running back by committee. So in my opinion, I don't obviously think all five of these guys are going to make the roster. And, you never know when it comes to the 53-man roster. But for me, I'm going to show you here in a second who I feel will make the team. But Miles Sanders has it locked down. And something I had mentioned before, Kenneth Gainwell, a big part of the offense to start the season last year. I think he's going to be a huge part of this season, this running back room. So I really think, those two guys feel pretty comfortable. So the question becomes, who is on that bubble? So that's what we are going to get into. Glad to hear you are doing well. I am doing great. Had a great day with the family. Woke up at 5 a.m., got a nice workout and just trying to get the body right, trying to feel right, trying to just turn things around here because you guys know I've been struggling a little bit with the health lately and just want to turn things around. So thank you for asking. Glad to hear you're doing well. At 754 yards on 37 attempts, which is his career low in attempts. Are you worried? We kind of know what we have. It's a solid running back. Yeah, I think that, look, this team dealt with some, obvious injuries at, certain places where there were struggles. And we talked about run the damn ball for 6 weeks, So I think that with the second year in this offense, the number one rushing attack, I think with Kenneth Gainwell here, and he's got something to prove here. He knows that he could definitely be out the door. So I think he's going to go out and ball out. I think this team is going to look great because you've got someone like A.J. Brown here. That just opens things up for everybody. So I think teams are going to have to watch out for that play action, but you're going to have to actually watch for this number one rushing attack. So I'm very excited. But the question becomes, who can back up those two guys? So, I'm beyond ecstatic about Miles Sanders. That's a great question, Randall. I think that he's a solid running back. And I know what we have, and that's a very talented running back. I just think that, because he didn't find the end zone, that's not a big deal to me. I would love to see him get in the end zone. There were a couple times he was real close, but, we had other running backs that were capable of doing so. So I thought that the team used them correctly. We were the number one rushing attack. So as long as they're used, and running backs, they don't last very long in the NFL. So you don't want to exactly grind them into the dirt there. So, yeah, I'm hoping that we don't have to use him too much. But when you do, man, he can produce some really big home run plays. And I love Miles Sanders. So I think that he and Kenneth Gainwell, those are two guys for me that, they had the, monster we've got going in here. But who are going to be the final remaining running backs on the roster? And Boston Scott, dude, I love this man. And for me, he makes this roster for sure. I think over Huntley, over Brooks, possibly, depending on what he looks like. But Jason Huntley, he did great in the return game. I thought he looked good, in preseason. But when given the ball in the regular season a couple times, I didn't think he did that great. And look, he's still very young, only had 2 years in the league. I think that, he definitely has time to prove something here. But you've got a guy like Kennedy Brooks, familiarity with Hurts, from Oklahoma. So the rookie comes in and he provides that power back. We don't have Jordan Howard here, and none of the other guys we mentioned are that necessarily, power back. But for me, you don't have to have a power back. I just think that, it is nice to have. So it depends on what Kennedy Brooks wants to do this all season. So in training camp, he's going to have to do all he can. Then in the preseason, we're going to see what he does. Maybe we add somebody to the room, but I think it comes down to these three guys. And then it really comes down to who do the Eagles want to keep out of those three guys? Because you've got Miles and Kenny. That's your two. And I would love to say that Boston Scott is your three, but here's my thinking on that. You can actually save a little bit of money with Boston Scott if you were to trade him. So we talked about we don't need to save cap space. You guys have seen the videos, the updated cap space. We're good there, but maybe you want to add some money so you can roll over more next year, whatever it is. But you also, maybe get a pick back for Boston Scott. This is a guy that I think, a lot of teams could definitely use. And I think here we have Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell. So for me, I could see him out the door. And I don't necessarily want to see that. And it really depends on what their plan is with Miles Sanders. So I just have him on the bubble for that reason. In my heart, I would have Boston Scott as my third guy. But I don't know if we're going to have him on this roster. So that's why I have him here on the bubble with Huntley and Brooks. Now, if Brooks can ball out and show that he is that power back that, can pass, protect, and catch the ball, he can do all those things. So you'd love to see that. So I really think that 5'11", 213, maybe he puts on some muscle. I think the kid, though, he could really do something. But training camp hasn't even happened. People are getting way ahead of themselves. Like, oh, he's on the roster. He's a lock. And it's like, dude. All right, he hasn't even done anything in the NFL yet. Let's slow it down. Let's see what he does first. Then we'll go from here. But I think with his skill set, he definitely has a better chance in my eyes to make this roster. So for me, I'm going to give you the projected depth chart here. And we talked about it. Kenny Gainwell is definitely the backup to Miles Sanders. But, dude, you could call it 1A, 1B almost, just like the wide receivers, just because of the fact that Kenny Gainwell, we talked about when we drafted him. We talked about that kid before the draft. Holy hell, the talent, what you could do with him in the run game and in the passing attack. I really think that he's going to have a monster season. It's going to be fun to watch him. So that's going to be huge. And so you can call it whatever you want, 1A, 1B, as I was saying. But I'm really pumped about this room. You don't think at some point we should have or go for a vet running back, Latavius Murray? I had mentioned Latavius Murray. A lot of those guys, when we talked about the free agents, and, those guys are still there. So what I said was you can go check those videos out, Randall, but great point there, man. There is a plethora of backs that man, they don't need to be doing anything right now. They're waiting for that right opportunity. A lot of these teams are feeling things out, seeing how things go. So maybe you don't like what Kennedy Brooks brings to the table, or maybe you want to push Kennedy Brooks by bringing in someone like a Jordan Howard, a Latavius Murray. So you can go check out that video. It's still, a lot of those guys are still pretty much available. Other than, we talked about some of the top guys, and we got those guys. Jaquiski Tart was one of them. So we know that there's talent there. So it's not that you can't improve this roster. We've talked about that, and we're going to continue talking about that at every position. We talk about almost $9 million of cap space. We have flexibility. We have draft picks. We can get better players. We can do whatever the hell we want. We can get rid of players like Boston Scott, as I mentioned. Whatever the game plan is for the future here, I'm all in, man. And Howie has been killing it. So I love to see it. And going into this year, I think to start the season, the initial 53-man roster, the reason at the bottom here I have, them on the same line, Boston Scott and Kennedy Brooks, is I don't feel that we're going to keep more than 3. Last year, I believe we kept 3. So in my opinion, I think that if Kennedy Brooks can ball out, or if you can trade Boston Scott, you have Kennedy there, or if there's a free agent guy like we mentioned, then maybe you add that guy. He's that power back, whatever the hell you want to do there. I don't think that this offense necessarily has to have that kind of guy that people are thinking, but maybe you do bring back a Jordan Howard, whatever it is. I'm not against that, but in my opinion, I think you just ride with these top 2, Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell, and you feel very comfortable about that. And then in certain situations, you can let these other guys spell you, or they can, someone like Boston Scott can provide some depth on the special teams area. Kennedy Brooks, not so much. But yeah, I really think that I love this running back room, the number 1 rushing attack. It all comes down to that offensive line, baby. And we're going to get into that, in a couple of days here. But I think this offensive line, very exciting. So this running back room is going to continue to flourish, going to be one of the top rushing attacks in the game. That's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Philadelphia Eagles positional breakdown of the running backs training camp edition. Dude, it is so close. I can almost taste it. I cannot wait. I'm going to go to the beach, and then I'll be back, and then it's going to be training camp, and life is going to look so much brighter. I know everybody loves summer, and it's great, but I love football more than any summer or beaches or any crap. I want football at all times. Football. I've seen the video. That's why I said his name. He's out there, but I just don't know about Boston Scott. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. He kind of provides you the same skill set, and it was nice to have him last year. But what if, someone's offering something? Hey, man, and I think they should. He's going into his 5th year, right? He's still pretty young, but you start to wear off. So I don't know that you get too much for him, but maybe with that cap saved and getting a little something in return, that's enough for them to make a move and allow someone like a Kennedy or to bring in a free agent. So those moves, all very possible, going to keep you up to date. And it's all going to come down to how do these guys look at training camp. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye and ear. I do as much deep diving as I can with these guys, getting as close as I can, dude. And it's been a wild ride this past year. So I've made some great friends just trying to get close to some of these, and I've ended up getting close to the people that are close to the players. So it's awesome, man. And having that, it gives me excitement, the things I hear, and I try to relay what I can. So they keep telling me things. I can't tell you everything. So it's like, but it's still a great relationship. And I love to try to bring you guys as much content and as excitement as I possibly can. And I am so damn ready. So I'm with you on that. I really, really am. Bring it on, man. Let's go. I cannot wait. I cannot. But look, I'm going to get through this offense before I do go away this weekend. So tomorrow, I'm going to try to be back. If not, then I will be back on Tuesday. We're going to be doing the wide receivers, and that one's going to be pretty good time. We've got 12 wide receivers to talk about, and obviously we added A.J. Brown, so that's pretty awesome. So it's going to be fun to talk about those guys. We're going to talk about a lot of the things I know people want to hear about when it comes to Reagor, what the possibilities are with the money, everything. We're going to break it all down. So get ready for that. Hope you'll tune in. If you're not, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on. You'll know when that video is going down. You can join me live and we can talk some birds. But I appreciate the hell out of every single one of you, whether you're watching this live, watching this later, whether you commented, you just liked, or you didn't do anything at all. I appreciate the hell out of you. And I hope you're getting as excited as I am, because football is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I'm very excited. And yes, what a great pick that was for the Saints. And getting him after we had already gotten Sproles from them. It was like, thank you, Saints. I just really want to say thank you to Saints. You suck. I hope you really suck this year. Give us a great first round pick. Let's go, Birds. But ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get rolling out. I have you Eagles splitting against my New York Giants this season. It's going to be a wild ride this year. And look, you guys made some changes that you really needed to make. You got some great draft picks on the offensive line, defensive line in the first round. And, you got another receiver. We'll see how Tony does. And look, I think that the Giants have the talent there. We're going to see it relies a lot on Daniel Jones, but Saquon Barkley, is he going to stay healthy? I think a lot of things that were done there, they're going to improve. But you lost James Bradbury. I want to thank you for letting us have him. But yes, the Giants, they're always going to be, it's a division rival, so you're always going to have a tough matchup. And, it's tough to, really take the series per se when you go against, as tough as the NFC East is, man, it's hard. We don't have back-to-back winners for a reason because these guys are always kicking the shit out of each other. And I love every second of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you need anything, let's go. Please feel free to reach out, whether you want to talk about birds, you want to talk about life. Please feel free. And I say that all the time because I truly mean it. And I know some of you take advantage of it. And I want you to. I'm telling you, we all need someone every now and again. So, and look, we all need someone all the time, man. This world is crazy. So I try to be there as much as I can, whether you want to talk about what's going on in your life or you just want to talk birds. I don't care. I know that it's nice just to talk to people sometimes. And being on my deathbed, it gave me a different perspective. And I just want to always be there for people as you guys are there for me. You guys helped me get through my hardest, darkest times. We watched our Eagles win a Super Bowl that first year. So what a magical time. So I just always try to always send that out to you guys. So know that I truly mean it and take advantage if you must. And please, if you don't even need it, just do it. Let's go. But hit that like button. I appreciate the hell you, Mrs. Bird Gang. Go check out Mr. Bird Gang doing big things out there. Everybody just trying to get excited for the season because there's a lot of excitement in the air. So I appreciate you. And if you did enjoy this content, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can subscribe to the channel and join me next time as we go live and talk some birds. But have yourselves a great night. I hope you had yourselves a great weekend. Let's have ourselves an awesome week next week. And dude, training camp, it's so close. It's so close. But we're going through the offense. I'll talk about wide receivers tomorrow. If you need me, reach out. But stay safe out there, everyone. And as always, I'm Jimmy Smith. Go Birds!